Welcome to the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show, a broadcast service of globalbusinessnews.net.
Now, here's your host, Ed Cohen.
Hi, it's Ed Cohen in San Diego, California. This is Global TV Talk Show, service of globalbusinessnews.net. Well, we're here today with Cata Mayorga, who's representing Riverbed, works for Riverbed Technologies in the global company, and she's in San Francisco today. Let's say hi to Cata. Welcome.
Hi, good morning. Welcome, Ed.
Thank you very much for doing this again. So, Cata, tell us about your job and your responsibilities at Riverbed, and then we'll move on to these other things that you were doing.
Yes, absolutely. So my responsibilities at any company in the Bay Area is to help them and guide them through with immigration, global mobility, relocation, and corporate housing. So I usually build the programs from ground zero to scale up. And as you know, right now, due to COVID-19 and latest changes, we have a lot to do.
Yeah, complicated.
Very complicated. And not only in the Americas region, there's a lot of complications happening as we speak in the EMEA, APJ region. You know, there's a lot of transformation as a business, as we all know. And besides that, regulations is not kind of going along with the transformation for the business as well.
Okay, now tell us about Jewel Labs and tell us about your visa service.
So Jewel Labs, it's a tech company, it's a startup that they have e-cigarettes. And they used to have the flavor ones, not anymore. The marketing strategy is down because they're just targeting adult smoker. That is the main and one and only mission, just to target, adult smokers. Saying that we do have a lot of data scientists and we have markets in EMEA region, APAC as well. And what do I do there is to help, with the relocation, corporate housing, and immigration policies. As you know, for a startup, it's very complicated to have like matrix and as well like compliance processes and workflow internally. So what I cannot do for them is to build the programs and make sure they're compliant. So, and that way we don't have any denials with work visas along with the relocation process as well.
Good. Okay, once again, if you could just enunciate clearly what the product line for the company is.
So the product line is e-cigarette, combustional, like just to get rid of combustional cigarettes, it's the pipe.
Got it. Okay, that's cool. And so you're an entrepreneur as well with International Visa, right?
Yeah, so International Visa Partner was born many years ago in Santa Monica, California. So I had my first exit for my first startup, Kua Pay. It was a mobile payment solution that we developed in this Latin America market. As you know, there's a lot of crimes in Latin America. So a lot of people usually carry their, wallet with money. And at that time, we thought, when you're at nighttime, you were leaving the office and many countries in Latin America, you don't want to stop and put gasoline in your car. So if you have your mobile payment solution, you just pump your gas in the car, you will pay with your cell phone solution. So you don't have to carry, cash at nighttime. So that was the main product, but it ended up being an e-wallet and also total reward points. And so at that time, I exited my first startup and I started the business with another law firms, and we're like partnering for the e-commerce and E6, which is the embassy of Spain, helping a lot of business coming to the US and expanding their, broader businesses. So we do is we place businesses in the US and we help them with investor visa, work visas, et cetera, et cetera. We guide them as well with tax purposes implication.
So are you working from home these days?
Yes, I am only working from home. I was working 2 months in Spain, in the south of Spain. I was working 1 month in Canada, Toronto, and now I'm back with my family in San Francisco, California. And yes, everything is through Zoom, Slack. I'm a heavy user of Slack. And yeah, that's how I work with all my law partners and my tax partner through emails. And as you know, we also have secure platform for data compliance. We cannot process work visas just via email. We need to keep all the data compliance and secure systems.
So let me ask you about Slack. Why do you like Slack?
So Slack is it's a tool that will help us to interact with many teams from many companies instantly, and also you can share documents and they can all interact, make comments, and also you can have like you can open like a ticket system, and also it will sync with your calendar. So if you're working and you have a meeting, well, Slack will give you a notification. You have a meeting. You have a meeting. So it's a very cool tool. And actually, right now that everyone is working from home, you can do calls, you can do conference, and you can share documentation. You can share a screen. It's similar to Zoom tool, but it's more broader in terms of documentation and sharing docs.
Is it encrypted?
I would say yes. I would hope so. It should be encrypted.
Yeah.
Otherwise, each company, they need to go through a PCI and compliance process, and if they don't go through that, I don't think they won't give you the license to operate.
So let's shift gears a little bit. This is about business. It's not about politics, but we are being impacted, especially today. So let's just say that there's no change in the administration here in the U.S., this being election day, 2020. The year's almost over, thankfully, but we have to get through today. So how do you think things are going to change?
In terms of immigration and relocation?
Yeah, so right
in
now,
general?
yeah, well, and let's just talk about immigration. There's been talk, I know it's meaningless at this point, but there's been talk about getting rid of the H-1B and putting something else in. I mean, that's nuts, isn't it?
So that is, as it is right now, it's just a speculation. And when, the government will actually put a bill to go through, I mean, there's a lot of controversy. So I see only 0.0001% that could happen, but that will bring that bring anxiety to the workforce, to companies. But on my 13, 14 years of experience in immigration in the US, that should not happen. And I don't think it will happen. And if it happens, I can assure you there's plan B, C, D, and E for those foreign nationals.
Yeah, well, there's so much anxiety out there. It's
insane. I've been hosting like immigration town halls every 2 weeks for different companies, with Fragment, with Ericsson, with the big law firms, because we need to keep everyone calm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks very much. Okay. So so the economy is opening up. It's much different than 60 days ago. I'm sure you see that. And thankfully, there's a lot of people going back to work, although there's 21 million or so unemployed, a terrible situation. So I think that no matter who wins, personally speaking, no matter who wins, that there's going to be more stimulus and more help going out there, and people will find their way back to doing some kind of work. But it probably is going to take till New Year's. So I'm not asking for your projection, but I would think that immigration and relocations will pick up pretty quick after the new year.
So immigration has never stopped. It actually had more impact right now because EV3 went above EV2, bulletin. So right now, law firms and global mobility departments, our company, were swamps, because where we have Indian and Chinese nationals that they have a backlog from 10 to 11 years to wait for their green card. Right now, were swamped because everyone wants to switch from EV2 to EV3. So they want to downgrade themselves and get a faster perm. So my projection is that immigration has never stopped. And also remember that due to COVID-19, we had a lot of like workforce, and especially in the tech industry, where we had employees stuck in APAC, EMEA, Latin America, and those are all H-1B holders, but they're not able to return to the US. So right now, starting January 1st, 2021, we're going to have like a bunch of workforce coming back to the US with those H-1B visas. So it has never stopped. And in terms of relocation, it was like a frozen period for, due to COVID-19, no one is traveling within the US and no one is traveling outside or in the US. But right now, each company, they have like a bunch of holding cases and start to do those relocations, outbound and inbound. So it's going to be crazy.
And now a word from our co-sponsors. Our programs wouldn't happen without the wonderful support of our advertisers. Here they are.
One of the greatest things about attending the Bridge School is that students are able to truly move at their own pace. Students who are advanced learners can move more quickly through the curriculum. Students who are struggling can slow down and take a little bit more time and get additional resources from their teachers. Also, the typical school in a school district is following state set guidelines and standards, and they're following the pace of the entire class. And that isn't always conducive to students. The Bridge School partners with Strong Mind to provide this award-winning curriculum. And with that, students are able to trust and know that they're learning a curriculum that is built on standards that are national standards, that are research-based, and they're chronological based on how students learn. So students can actually go forward and learn that at their own pace and not have to worry if they are meeting the standards that are set forth by the state. They can know that they're learning what needs to be mastered in that course to be successful.
This episode of Global TV Talk Show is brought to you by
The Bridge School, the accredited international online private school of choice at bridgek12.org.
Porch Light Rental and Destination Services. Reduce renter lump sum or managed relocation costs. Find them at porchlightrental.com.
CubeMonk, featuring the world's first smart cube. Welcome to the future of moving and relocation at cubemonk.com.
Primestone Partners, featuring corporate, government, and developer housing solutions. Find them at primestonepartners.com.
And by Airs. With our full range of services, we can help design and manage your international relocation. Find us at airs.com. And by International Auto Source. We are the vehicle experts for expats, featuring all major brands of automobiles. On the web at intlauto.com.
Hi Rob and Eva. I just want to say thank you guys to support me to purchase my new vehicle here in USA. And we are enjoying a lot this new vehicle, Mateo as well. Say hello Mateo to Rob and Eva. And thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye bye.
As an expat moving to the USA, relocating is exciting, but it can also be stressful. Getting a car, truck, or SUV for personal transportation is usually a high priority. That's where International Auto Source comes in. We make getting the vehicle you want for your work assignment or academic program easy, so you're ready to drive when you arrive. Our product specialists have helped over 50,000 expatriates with their personal transportation needs, making us the largest international auto retailer in the world. International Auto Source gives you flexible payment options to buy, lease, or rent a vehicle from the world's leading auto brands, arrange financing on a purchase or lease without a U.S. credit history, social security number, or driving record, get full insurance coverage, and get approved easily through our low-rate factory-backed financing programs. And because we're an authorized distributor of the world's leading automotive brands, our no-haggle prices are competitive, and the buying experience is hassle-free. We'll even guarantee your new vehicle will be ready the day you arrive. With over 20 years of experience in the global community, we are the vehicle experts for expats. We are International Auto Source.
So we'll talk about how relocation policies could change in the new year, but um, right now there seems to be a wave of interest about working from anywhere, like Bermuda or Hawaii or Belize or uh, you know maybe Mallorca. So
Oh.
how do you see that happening, and what's the complications? Do people have to buy that right?
That is correct. So there's a lot of complication, and that is it's a Disneyland world that is undoable right now, and here's why. Uh, the working from home policies that I have seen right now, the trends in the U.S. is you can work for anywhere as long as the company has an entity in Colorado, in London, Ireland, or maybe Dominican Republic. But as long as we have a company, an entity in that country or in that city or state in particular, you can move and work from there because your payroll will come from that entity in particular in the same city. The issue is now if you have an employee moving to Bermuda or Hawaii, is that if for any reason you have like a medical implication, you get COVID-19 or you need to be hospitalized, your benefits it's holding in your base location. And if, for instance, if I work in San Francisco and I want to move to Hawaii, my benefits are in San Francisco. If I go to work in Hawaii, I don't have benefits. I cannot go to the hospital. I cannot go to the dentist, and my whole family is not covered. And this is the simple reason why we need to stay in the states or cities or country where our, work location is in the system. Tax purposes, it could be a mess. So right now, what companies are doing is you can move whatever you want as long as we have an entity in Austin, Texas. If we do run payroll and benefits there, you can move without a problem. But the move, it's on you if it's a personal move. If we want to change, for instance, Joel has changed headquarters from San Francisco to Washington, D.C. because it needs to be closer to the legislator. So that is on us. So we need to facilitate and we need to pay for those relocation policies.
Thank you for that detailed explanation. So let's jump over to the idea of relocation policies. The work from home experience has been eye-opening. Many managers, HR people, or stakeholders within companies have had to learn more about empathy or about understanding that everybody's different and that you see more personal things because of Zoom than you ever would or ever wanted to know about, probably. And everyone's got a young kid or a dog or a cat running around in the background, and so people have needed to learn new things, and so policies are definitely going to change, won't they?
They are changing right now. In terms of working from home, now a lot of companies are trending to do wellness plan, because wellness plan is you want to make sure that your employees, they have that support, like, someone there to talk to you when you feel lonely, because we have a lot of employees that they could have families, but there's a lot of employees that move to this country and then by themselves, they're isolated and they're being inside an apartment for like 8 months, and they need that kind of help, that someone to reach out and say, hey, we're here for you, talk to your problems, and we need to support you. So right now there's a lot of wellness going on and a lot of awareness that, this could not end in depression, but because of your life has changed dramatically from, January to now, like you need that online support. You need someone to be there for you and talk to you through like what are your problems and issues.
So let me ask you a question about and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but layoffs, people who are not who are furlough, and then, what's going to happen here? There's going to be changes coming up, no matter who wins the election, beginning January. So what are people doing? In your view, how should people who worked in global mobility and who are not now working for whatever the reason, what should they do? What should they think about in order to prepare themselves for what's next?
So right now, there was in global mobility field, there has been a lot of changes and laid off, as you all know. So for that, you have to keep your eyes very open in the market, because right now, as you know, that everything that goes down, it goes up. So it's going to starting to pick up. A lot of companies are going to start asking for demand for more workforce. They're going to need more people. But my recommendation for any global mobility partner who's out there without a job, they also need to expand probably their knowledge, and not to stay just with global mobility. Global mobility is such a broad field that you can do immigration, corporate housing. Right now, you can get into the tax world, and tax world is going to be very hot next year, because all of these complications, shutting down buildings, shutting down offices, and you're having all your workforce moving around the cities and the world. So global mobility is going to be, I would say, one of the most demanding department in each single company in the industry right now. So right now, everyone say, oh, no one is relocating, everyone is stay put where they are, but that's not true. Everyone is moving around as we speak. Yeah. And the problems are going to come on next year with taxation as well, implications.
So technology is going to become much more used.
Definitely. And for all those firms, like for instance, Deloitte, PricewaterhouseCoopers, where they have tools right now where they can track employees, where they moving from and where they're going to, I would say that they will have to improve their platform, because there's a little bit, out of date. So we need to step up, and as well, relocation companies. We do have like good platform, but we need to step up. We need to do more integrations with systems like Workday or SAP and, SuccessFactors. We need to be more ahead of what's going to happen, because if you do those integration in the back end for those platforms, you just got to press one button, and you don't have to do the manual job in the back end.
Well, Cata, Mayorga, thank you very much for being our special guest today on Global TV. It's been really informative, and thanks for your insight. And I welcome you to come back and join another discussion someday.
Will do. Thank you very much for having me. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Thank you for joining us in the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show.
Have a wonderful day, and stay safe.